Good evening. I hope you're ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. This is the live with the ladies. We're gonna wait just a minute or two, see if somebody wants to come on or not, or if the apathy of voting is like really, really, really real. And people are just not tuning in. So here we go. Okay, we got one viewer. One is enough for us to start. What you think?
One.
One is enough. We take what we get here.
Good evening, everyone.
What happened? Okay, we got a special guest in the ladies' room tonight. Along with the ladies, we have my big brother Bart Rutherford, who is pretty good with politics. So we invited him to stream along with us and chop this subject up. Again, I'm waiting for a couple of people to come on into the room. I hope that
I'm sharing it now.
okay, I'm sharing it too. I've shared it out. We have a few more people. And since we have a few more people, we just start with where we are. And I just want to say welcome to Live with the Ladies. Tonight's topic is, are you voting? Why or why not? This evening's topic to me is a very serious topic, and I would like to approach it with the seriousness that it deserves. Today is the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Civil Rights Act by Lyndon B. Johnson. And so it is so almost sad to say, not almost, it is sad to say that on this 60th anniversary of the signing of the Civil Rights Act, that so many of our rights as we know them are in jeopardy. And so with that said, I just wanted to talk about the upcoming election. I wanted to get a feel from the people, you people, our people, of what you plan to do as far as voting. If you're voting, if not, why? And if you are, why? And before I go into the topic, of course, and as usual, I have a few little clips that I would like to share with you, just so that we could kind of have a starting or jumping off point for the topic, and we'll go from there. So here we go. I mean, you know how I am with my technical abilities, not the greatest, but I'm doing the best that I can. So just hang out here with me. Oh, what happened here? Okay, wait.
10 times in his head. That's what I'm voting for. So George Floyd, you do kill, bro. What am I voting for? What am I going and standing in this line for and voting for one of these people for? Why? Because y'all want to act like my vote really matters. Man, bro.
In 2020, record turnout among black voters helped turn Georgia blue. But Hitman and John still weary of voting come November. They're leaning towards Trump.
Yes, I am. I feel like it was more change when Trump was in office than Biden, if we got to compare what's going on. You say you're not black if you don't vote for me?
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Who says that? It was wild to hear that. And then what have you done?
The Biden administration recently launched debt forgiveness. support to black-owned small businesses, record low unemployment levels, and an increase in black wealth.
Because black Americans voted, Kamala and I are president and vice president of the United States because of you.
So when I see you brothers in late fall, you wearing MAGA hats?
No. So that's what I'm saying. The thing is, I'll vote, but that's what I'm saying about only options. It's just like, hey, you want to burn your hand in the oven or you burn your hand in the toaster? The vote is the last thing on my mind. Y'all want me to vote for what?
So that was we I kind of wanted to start the discourse to talk about the apathy among lots of African Americans, in particular African American men, who feel like if they are not voting, that they also might be. I mean, if they are voting, that they also might be leaning towards voting for Trump. So, although this show is not necessarily about who you're voting for, that is your individual private right to decide who you're voting for when you go behind the curtain, I just wanted to talk about the apathy that this young man expressed in the video. We get it. A lot of us feel like the choices that we have to choose from are so dismal that we just don't even want to vote. But I brought up the fact that today is the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, in conjunction with the apathy that we are feeling today, or some of us are feeling, to remind you that the ancestors have bought and paid for this right for you. So even if you felt like there was nothing happening, which it is, and I'll go through that a little bit later, even if you felt like you weren't being served in any way, you almost owe it to the ancestors who paid with their sweat, blood, and lives for you to be able to have the privilege to vote in this country. You owe it to them. So that's kind of where I wanted to start with this discourse. I'll open it up to our guest first to get his thoughts and feelings on voting.
Well, good evening, first of all. As far as the first question, yes, I am definitely voting. I've always voted. It's been instilled to me since I was a young man. My mother always made sure that we understood the sacrifices in voting, and we vote in my family. And it's very, I really believe it's very important. First of all, it's our right. And I think with that young brother, the problem with him is we tend to have narrow vision when it comes to voting, and we don't understand. We don't have a good understanding on how voting works, and a lot of that is okay. We narrow it. We have very narrow vision. We're just thinking of the presidency, but a lot of times getting out there and voting incorporates benefits that may come down the line in the grassroots section, as you go further down to Congress and to the House of Representatives and to your local government, to your state government. All of that's tied into together. So when you vote and you have a record of voting, you have a you know that it's your responsibility, and you participate in voting. You tend to be involved in all of those type of elections, and in doing so, you do shape your community, and you do see those benefits on a real, tangible level. So one of the problems is education and the optics of it. Well, we just think we're voting for this one person, and that one person is going to do so much. People don't realize that the president actually does very little when it comes to voting. You know, when we vote for a president, they're the head of the machine, but when you get down to grassroots, they're not involved as much. But then in some cases they are, like as a Supreme Court and things like that. So I think we just need to have a better understanding of civics and how our votes work and how the government is set up all the way down to the local level. And you will see those benefits that you're claiming that you don't see, because the alternative is the other party who doesn't want to give us anything, social programs, none of that. And so when you vote, those things matter. So you know, that's what I have to say on the first question.
Okay. Anybody else want to respond?
I think that has a lot to do with lack of like Boris said, a lack of education. People just don't know, right? They don't take the time to know. And they, just like that brother said, he doesn't understand why he needs to vote. He doesn't really get it. He's thinking just on the surface level. And I don't think it's enough education out there. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really see they always rock the vote and all of that stuff, but are we really educating on a level where people really understand? I don't think so. I think that's a problem in our community.
I totally agree. I think it's more than just our community. I think even when you listen to some of the people that are interviewed by at the Trump rallies and all the rallies, actually, even if you're watching Jimmy Kimmel at night and his little funny skits, you really get to see that Americans, by and large, have a very small understanding of civics, period. They don't understand how it works. They don't really understand the three branches of government and how they work. They don't understand that politics is really local and how your local politics are even more important than your national politics. They just don't get it. And I think, this is a question that I wanted to put out there to us a little bit later on. But I guess we can move into the question right now, unless Michelle wants to finish off with the first one first.
So I have a lot of thoughts going in my head. I'd be the first person to raise my hand and say that I'm not so well versed when it comes to politics. Is it a lack of education? Maybe, but I think to some degree it's also a lack of interest. But let me say this, not because I'm not interested in all of our well-being, but it's just not a topic. It's like talking about taxes to me. It's not interesting. It doesn't stimulate me. So I don't have a lot to say about like policies and all the different branches. I really don't understand all that. But what I do have is common sense. And I think what we heard from the gentleman on the clip was really just a sense of frustration. I think Black people for a lot of years have always been in a position where we feel like ultimately we're voting for the lesser of two evils. Who's going to do the least amount of damage, right? And I think with this particular presidency or election, with this particular election, it's compounded because of the character who is Trump. I mean, he does whatever, he's reckless, he says whatever, and it's clear, both present day and from his past, that he has absolutely, I would venture to say he don't not only have no concern for Black people, he don't have no real concern for people, period. Right? So I think the frustration comes from the fact that we vote and vote and vote and vote, but where has it gotten us? That's what I heard from the clip. And I think that's what we truly need to address. I don't know if I really answered the question, but I was just going on my thoughts when I listened to the clip.
absolutely answered the question. You answered the question because, for the most part, I think that most people are like you. When it comes to politics, it's not like a real juicy topic. It's nothing that has real meat and potatoes that people really want to even understand. Because the whole idea of politics is it's supposed to be like this, that you elect somebody and you trust the person that you elect to get the job done that serves you because you are their constituent. Unfortunately, because politics can be so dirty, so gritty, and now with the advent of having, it's slipping my mind right now, I'll figure it out in a minute, but with having corporations being allowed to be counted as people, which means that unchecked money is able to influence campaigns. People are not going to do the best that they can for the individual person that put them in office anymore, the way that we expected, or the way that we believe that the founding fathers wrote the Constitution to be for individuals.
Right.
Robin made a comment. Can somebody read it? Hey, Michelle.
I can't see.
Let me put my glasses on and I can.
She said, Michelle, is great that you say that because that's a common theme when it comes to politics.
What's the common theme, Robin? I'm sorry.
I think she may have written that when I was talking about the lesser of two evils, and not everybody being well versed in politics, but we all have common sense, and we can see that a lot of these politicians just simply don't have our best interests at heart. I think another challenge or another issue that I always have with politics is that you select the best person for the job, but you're never going to be able, and it's with anything, right? You're never going to be able to make everybody happy, right? There's always going to be something, but you hope that the person who's elected is thinking of the people at large, right? And not just one group or one silo of people. And those are the ones that end up getting left behind. Right. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge all the way around. And to Bart's point, one thing I definitely understand is that we going through all these situations with the president, worried about who the president is going to be. To Bart's point, they have very little. I won't say very little, but they have little to do in terms of they don't have the power. That's what I'll say. They don't have the power to just make decisions and just make laws. They have to go before the Supreme Court or whoever it is, and that's a mess. So it's like, who do you turn to? Like, what do you do? And that is where I think a lot of the frustration comes from.
So one of the reasons why I think that is so important for us to at least have some working knowledge of civics and be informed about what's going on is specifically what you just said, Michelle, is that, the checks and balances are supposed to hold. But look at what happened yesterday, where the Supreme Court virtually agreed that the president has total immunity now.
Immunity, yes.
Has immunity with regard to anything on the job. So literally, like you said earlier, he could go on Fifth Ave, shoot somebody in the face, and get away with it. So yesterday, they just made a kingmaker. And now those checks and balances are not going to hold, because you're not going to have a Supreme Court that will hold him to task. And if we don't pay attention to those undercards, which are the races for Senate and Congress, even they won't be able to hold him, because if we don't get out there and get that vote and vote for people who will hold him accountable, you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt
Oh,
Gaetz and all of those boo-boos who will do whatever he says. And I mean, I know I've said it several times on this program, but if you guys have not yet seen Handmaid's Tale, you ought to watch it, because it could be very true that next year we could be facing a Gilead type situation in this country. So, I mean, that's why I said this topic deserves the utmost seriousness, because at this point, literally for real, I would vote for a ham sandwich before I would vote for Donald Trump, or before I would stay home and give up my vote so that he would then get more votes than Biden. That's how serious it is. Bart?
Yeah, and I think, like when we were saying earlier, again with the brother in the video, I think a lot of that frustration is due to education. And sometimes when I say education, I don't just mean academically. I mean educating them on that particular part of civics, about voting and how your vote is doled out, how things are created from that vote. And I also disagree. I think politics can be exciting. It can be very exciting, but you have to make people feel that they have a stake in it. You have to have a sense of community, like if you're out there soldiering, you get excited about it. I mean, I've just like recalling my days of growing up in the nation. We had a sense of community. We were fighting for something. We were soldiering for something, and we were all in. And I think that's what we had to make these young kids understand, that this is for everything. I mean, we're talking about helping with tuition payments. We're talking about these people want to do away with PBS and NPR. They want to do, it's a lot at stake, and you're just seeing this on the surface. I'm going to vote for Trump because he black like us, or stupid things like that, or the sneakers, stuff like that. And you don't understand that these people vote. They vote with corporations. That's all they care about is the money. And so unemployment programs, grassroots programs, social programs, they block all of that, and all of that does have a direct effect on you. You just don't see it because you're falling in line in this propaganda that we see in the media, and you don't even understand how it's affecting you. And that's what I mean by education. And if you make people understand that and get them out there and talk amongst their own people and get excited about it, politics can be very exciting. I mean, I love politics. My son loves politics. My family loves it, because we understand that. And I just would hope to get more and more people in that frame of mind, because once you do that and you get a strong background in that, and then you start to go to work and you talk to people and they talk to people, and it grows, and you'd be surprised what little part you can do as an individual in helping your cause.
And at this point, I think that we all need to be doing that. Like this is dire straits here. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people really realize, I don't know if people realize where we are and what is going to be the outcome if a certain individual get in that seat again. It's very serious.
Wow.
I think some of the motivation people should have to go and vote is just watching how, like, we can't succumb, I guess is what I'm saying, to the feeling of defeat, right? It should be the motivation that drives you to want to go out even more in full force, because first of all, we did it before. We can clearly do it again. Now is not the time to buckle. Now is not the time to decide, you know what, I'm over it, I'm not going to vote. Because we see what the opponent is doing. We see that people are willing to support him at any cost, under any circumstances. I mean, the man is a convicted felon
So
thirty-four times.
be glorious,
34, huh?
be glorious comment when you finish.
Yeah, 34 times. And they're still saying, I'm going to vote for him. Um, so I saw a meme on social media the other day. It was like a listing of all the companies or all the jobs that hired convicted felons, and somebody put, and the United States president in the list, because it was missing. And it's just scary that it's a joke. It's laughable that you can have this person running and he's a criminal. I don't care how you look at it. It is what it is. It baffles my mind that I remember they wanted to hang Obama from the stakes because he wore a beige suit. But yet, this guy can talk about killing people, murdering people, grabbing. I mean, just the atrocities that he's committed. It just blows my mind. But yet, his followers will be out in droves, and so we have to. Not to mention the fact that I think we said it on another show, Nikki. Let's face it, white people are the minority at this point, so we should be able to show up and outnumber and show out. There you go. Exactly.
Be glorious comment.
Gloria said, I got detoured yesterday because of an accident, so I turned down and saw a big Trump sign. Next to it, another said, I'm voting for the convicted felon.
So
You are you proud of that?
right.
You proud of that? Like, it's not funny.
So here's the really sad part about it. And I mean, I know, we don't even have the usual amount of viewers we get, that people are so very apathetic about voting, and they shouldn't be, because this is the opportunity where we could be together, talk about voting and what it means to you, and hopefully we can even convince you to vote. But people are so apathetic that they don't even want to hear or think about politics and the seriousness that this topic presents. I'm really almost disappointed that people are not engaging, because what we're not realizing is that this particular man, if he gets into office, his whole agenda is really about revenge. He has no other. First of all, now that the Supreme Court has given him total immunity, not only will he have a revenge administration, but it will also be a grift administration, and he will be able to get away with taking bribes, accepting bribes, not only from people within this country or corporations, but other countries. And we don't understand how serious and diabolical it could be for him to have nuclear codes and secrets, governmental military secrets, and be able to possess those and use them at his disposal. If we don't really start thinking about those things, I think I really hate to say this, but I really feel like, Black people are so worried about what you're going to do for me or what have you done for me lately. And I get that. Please don't misunderstand me when I say I really do get that. But if there's no country here for us to have, what good is having somebody that's going to do something for Black people in office? Because the whole democracy will be demolished. There will be nothing for anybody here, white or Black. And we all know, especially in this country, when white people get a cold, we get pneumonia. So if the democracy falls here, it will be chaotic for them. but for us, it will be deadly because we will then have handed this man an excuse to pull out all the pathological stops in his bag, which means that, in pathological means not normal thinking, not normal in your being. And he's already allowed pathological people to, he's excused, pathological behavior by saying he's going to, what do you call it? Sorry, my voice is going out already.
Pardon? He's gonna pardon?
Pardon the January 6th felons. That's pathological. And if you don't think that he'll pardon somebody who might decide they crazy enough and they don't want to see black people on their street and they want to shoot them down. If you don't think he might not pardon them, something wrong with you. Rethink that. We literally could be living in Gilead from him.
I'll let somebody get to him first.
Robin said the majority is Hispanic and a large percentage of them vote for Trump.
And to me, that's another group of people who I fear that they just don't get it. I think that they believe that their alliance with the Republican Party helps them to assimilate better in this country. But at the end of the day,
I don't understand how they could think that. I just don't.
They believe it. They believe it because such a large amount of them. Also, not only do they have feel like they'll have the money and power to assimilate better, they might have the skin color. Look at Nikki Haley, who have totally turned her back on her people to the point that she changed her name. I didn't even know for a long time that this lady was not American Indian, that she was from India. Nobody knew that because she changed her name so that she could assimilate.
When I was looking up a little bit of statistics, they're saying that most Americans are non-consistent voters. So they'll vote this.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Were you talking?
So
now I can hear you now.
You freezing up, Michelle.
Yeah. While we try to get Michelle right, I do want to say, though, let's be clear that the Hispanic vote is a vital, very important part of the Democratic machine, and overwhelmingly they do vote Democratic. So a lot of them do get it, but there's certain sections of the Hispanic community that tend to vote conservative, like the
Cubans,
like the Florida Cubans, and so. But for the most part, and they're coming around, and even somebody who's Hispanic, strong Republican, and she still identifies as Republican. But if you listen to her, she is influencing in a way that helps us, and that's Ana Navarro.
She's not Cuban, though.
No, I know. I'm just saying Hispanic. She is. Now you made me lose my train, but she's influencing more toward the left because of what she's seeing as going as a total disruption, a total breakdown of our democracy. And what we were saying about Trump real quick is a lot of that too is you guys were right on point where Americans here, white Americans here, understand that they are fastly becoming the minority. And the reason why we get a guy like Trump is they're very narrow-minded, very short-minded, and this is their grasp, their last grasp at power. So that's why Trump is allowed to say what he want to say, do what he want to do. And they're going to back him no matter what, because he says the thing that they say in their living rooms, but they don't dare say at work when they're sitting next to you. And and they feel over the last 10, 20 years the advancements that we're getting and the power that we're getting, like the tearing down of the Civil War memorabilia and things like that. We're taking too much too fast. So a guy like Trump comes along and spews his rhetoric, and they back him wholeheartedly, and they think that he's going to save them, but it's too late. The die has been cast. This country is a melting pot. They will be very shortly. They will be the minority, and they know already that they're losing the popular votes by millions. So they understand what's going on here, and this is their red meat. They're fighting. They don't care. They're fighting all out. And this is what I say about the Democratic Party that upsets me, being a lefty, being a staunch liberal, is we always go into a gunfight with a knife. We won't get down and dirty in our politics and fight for what what we have to lose. And they do. They put it all on the line. And it's times that we got to stop intellectualizing and laughing at them with those Jimmy Kimmel videos and all that stuff. And we're like I said, intellectualizing, like we're so superior and educated, and get down to the grassroots like that brother and people like that. We need to reach people like them, because without them, we lose. We lose, and we lose big. We lose possibly the country with a guy like Trump.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What would be one thing that you could say to a brother like that to kind of maybe not even persuade him, but to open his mind just a little bit?
Wow. There's several things. Like I would try to find out his economic standing, like if he lives at home with his mother, and does his mother get assistance? Well, that program would be wiped out if these people had their way. Do you get Section 8? That program would be wiped out if they had their way, and things like that. I would come at him on a personal level the other way, so he can understand that, yeah, you didn't realize that, but all of that is directly affected by who we put in the White House and his cabinet and further down the line. So yeah, I would start maybe trying to get to know the brother and go at him that way. And then, like I said, come back as far as, fighting for your community, which is, I mean, that's these days, these kids, I don't know, but you got to try. And I would come at them like that.
So I think they were more, I think they did some, I forgot what they did. I think they were like rappers or poets or something like that, where they weren't that bad off. And one of the issues that I have, and this is one of the things that I wish people would engage so that they could hear the different thoughts and the idea that Black people, we're not monolithic. I mean,
right.
We say that all the time. And I hate the idea that both parties do this, but they always want to associate Black people, just like what Trump did the other day with the debate, with needing the kind of social undergirds that always make us, that makes it seem as if we're all living some kind of impoverished life. And we're not all living that life. And one of the things that I would love for people to start addressing, instead of things that are social undergirds, I mean, we need those. But I also want them to start putting more money into our communities that help us have venture capital and be able to start businesses And stop always talking down to us like we always are the ones who need a handout. Because truth be told, there are more white people on welfare than there are blacks. There are more white people accepting housing vouchers than there are blacks. So when Donald Trump says they're coming for the black jobs, what the hell is a black job? Most black people I know have very good jobs. And not, we not. I mean, because you know in his mind what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a black me. I don't know one. I don't know a black person in the fields. I don't know one.
Yeah.
So I mean, not that they're those jobs are not necessary, because a job is a job, and there's dignity in all work. But stop always trying to relegate black people to the most menial of tasks, and then pit us against other races of people over crumbs. Michelle, you up? Or you still stuck?
Yeah.
We can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's her headphones myself.
Because now we can't hear you.
Trump did more for black people. What did he do?
Nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hear a lot of people just keep talking about stimulus check. I think that is outrageous. I just don't really understand.
People need to be educated. The stimulus checks came from Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump just signed his name. But Nancy Pelosi was the person who spearheaded the push for people to have stimulus checks during COVID. And Trump ain't had nothing to do with it but a sign of his name.
And I don't know if they think when he get back in there, they're going to get another one. I don't know. But that is outrageous to me. I hear that a lot, believe me.
Yeah, and if people would just tune in. Information is so easy to get nowadays in the age of the internet. You don't have to believe everything you hear on TV or see. You can look up things with the quickness of a thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really, I'm so, like I said, I don't mean to bring our presentation down, but in my mind, I just feel so disheartened that black people are just checking out of the race because they feel like Biden is not worthy or he's too old or whatever.
Yeah, we hear
As
that.
I said before, we all feel that way. But at this particular juncture, it's him, or we'll cease to exist as a country. And I know it appears to be that way a lot of time with the Democratic Party, that we have to kind of save them in order to save ourselves. But it's not anybody that we really want. But if ever there was a time like that, now is that time. And if we don't get out there and vote, I really, really fear that. It's frightening to think about what could happen. Because he's now been given immunity. He can call the National Guard out to quell any uprising or anything that he deems he don't want to deal with, and they will murder, and the first people they will attack will be us. And if we don't understand that, I've been saying this for years. What good is a good economy if you dead? Don't you get that? Nobody gets that. Black people so worried about, well, not all black people, the black people that claim that they follow Trump because he could give them more opportunity. The opportunity ain't gonna mean a damn thing if you dead. Ask Herman Cain.
Mhm.
So it was the stimulus checks, is what you're saying.
No, I mean, I've heard that. You know,
Like
you
when people say I was doing better when Trump was in office, I'm like, how?
Right.
that's exactly right.
Came from Nancy Pelosi.
We were in the middle of a pandemic. How was you doing better?
Exactly.
Exactly.
A pandemic that, while I don't know if it could have been fully avoided, it could have been alleviated a little bit, a whole lot earlier. You know, right around the time he started telling people to drink bleach.
Right.
That's exactly right.
And inject and have lights going up your body.
Yeah.
It's gonna disappear. It's just gonna disappear.
That's what he said.
So
I think it's something as very as simple as a lot of people, like when they're around their family or around friends or at work, and you know, it might be in a place where they're the minority as far as politics. Like there might be a lot more conservatives around them, or even at home, like your family might tend to vote another way. People don't realize that, and they shy away from it. They just tune out from politics or whatever when that kind of thing happens. But they don't realize that that's one of the most sacred moments when you go vote. Nobody goes in the voting booth with you. Nobody knows who you're going to vote for. You can go say whatever you want around the crowd and vote for who you want to vote for. So that's another thing I think people is like I've actually had somebody ask me. They're gonna know what I voted, how I voted. Like they think that vote is tracked, that individual vote. So it's not, and you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I think a lot of something as simple as that sometimes get a little turned off. Where we at as far as the questions go, Nick? Did we run through them all?
I think we did, but I had one thing to say back. I'm glad you brought it up. The idea of conservative versus liberal. I think that this is another area that people have to kind of be familiar with, because I hate to even call myself a liberal because those terms are too loose. Because when you think about it, conservatives are what Republicans are supposed to be. But there's absolutely nothing conservative about what Republicans do. Not morally and not even financially.
Nope.
Because even when you think about spending, it's supposed to be conservative as far as spending. They always spend more money and raise the deficit higher than any other Democratic president. All the time.
Yep.
And they spend more money. They just don't spend it in areas that help other people. They spend money in war and they spend money with corporations.
And taxes for the rich.
Or taxes for the rich, right.
Mm-hmm.
As far as liberal goes, the people who are supposed to be so liberal, I don't know more morally conservative people than black people.
Right.
Black people are some of the most morally conservative people in the world. So those terms don't even really fly when you really get down to brass knuckles. And if people would just get together and discuss, it don't always have to be a heated argument when you talk about politics. Because we really didn't talk about, we did talk about Trump's misgivings, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for. I just want you to vote. And if you're going to vote for Trump, you need to have a real factual reason for voting for him. If you don't have a real factual common sense reason for voting for him, I'm just questioning your vote. That's all. But I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. You can vote for whoever you want. That's your business. Like you said, Bob, when you go in there, close that curtain. Nobody will know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wanted to know, what did he do?
Nothing.
I can't think of one.
He did. Yes, he did. He did a lot for the rich. The tax cuts alone. Oh, and He made a lot of money. He helped his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, make a lot of money.
Billions.
And his daughter. So, I mean, he did that.
And where's she been? Is she coming back out the woodwork?
It seems to me that she might be the only one with a little bit of sense in the family. I mean, I think she will definitely support her father no matter what. But I think she got enough sense to kind of stay away from some of his antics.
His wife sure is.
Oh, if his wife could leave him today, she'd be gone. Robin had a question. She said, "Oh, you can't say that one on here, Robin." He said, "Dummies." I can't really see because nobody read it. Let me put my glasses back on.
I hate when I hear about the stimulus checks. Yes, information is so easy to access.
Right. Yeah. So true. And this is why I wanted to bring this topic, because I fear and I feel like there are a lot of people who listen to us who will never turn on CNBC or what's the other one I like to listen to? C-SPAN. They're not going to turn it on. Like Michelle said, this is not necessarily a really interesting topic. But if we could make it small for you to be able to digest, that was the purpose and the impetus. But before we go, it was another clip I wanted to play for us. And it's another reason why I decided that I really want us to, I'm not going to give up. I want us to talk about politics again and again before this election. And maybe we'll talk about other areas. But the reason I decided to do this is because I got a new, fairly new, great niece that I love, and I want this world to be intact for her. And we might not see the fruits of our labor, but maybe our next generation will. So let me just show you this clip that I hope that people will enjoy.
I think it is so important for us to try to extricate ourselves from the idea that the measure of value is one human life, and that if it is not achieved in our lifetimes, it is not important. If people who were enslaved held those ideas, they would not have struggled so much. They were struggling for us. They were struggling for the possibility of a new world. If we imagine the ways in which people 100 years from now, 200 years from now, will be thankful to us for doing the work that we are doing today, then that means that we will have played a part in the production of that future, and that we will be spiritually present in that future. That to me means that our primary goals are to create new arenas for struggle, to guarantee that it continues from one generation to the next. I think.
So, I hate to be emotional, but just watching that, I always think of my own life when I think about my ancestors. Is that I know that I'm the hope and dream of a slave. I know when I look at my own child who is a doctor, that not even the grandmother that I had and knew could ever imagine that she'd have a grandson that was a doctor. So I really, really impress on Black people. We gotta stop playing games. If we don't stop playing games, we'll not be here in the next 100 years. They're making a mockery of us. The fact that Trump could have the nerve to say he's going to appeal to Black people over some goddamn sneakers, or the fact that he's a felon. So that means that you think because you're a felon, all Black people are felons, and so now we can relate, we can party? When the Black people who are felons are still in jail. but
And he ain't gonna serve a day.
not one day.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's serious. We have
Yeah.
to stop making like it's not serious. It's serious.
Sometimes we don't even know when we're being insulted. That clip, that is the whole purpose of the movement in a nutshell. That clip is, you got to send me that, because it embodies everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I think that really we could really start a new movement to get us to, like I said, it's not gonna happen in our lifetime. But maybe we could pass some jewels down to the next generation.
That's right.
And like she said in the clip, 200 years our spirit will be there.
Right.
So let me ask you guys this: what do you think it would take?
But what-
The first thing, well, I'm gonna let you guys answer. Go ahead. Let me rest my voice.
Go ahead,
Go
Bart.
for it.
No, but I mean, a little bit more specific, Michelle. What would it take for what?
Just to get our people,
Mhm.
Black people specifically, to be more aware. I mean, you said it yourself. A lot of times it's like we don't even know that we're being insulted.
Mhm.
Like, that's the problem to me. So when I do hear, and listen, like Nikki said before, I honestly don't really care well, I do care, but like, I'm not here to tell nobody who to vote for. You vote for whoever you want to vote for. But when I hear Black people talking about Trump, I'm like, I don't even know how you could listen to him, knowing him for who and what he is. Like, what is it going to take? He insults you to your face. What they say now, he playing right in your face, and you butt kissing. Like, I don't get it. He couldn't say nothing to me. Like, absolutely nothing. And so I don't understand what it is or what it's going to take for people to really wake up and be like, listen, I can't subscribe to your antics and all the other stuff that I know you believe in. You can't put on this fake face for me now. All of a sudden, you want to try to come into the Black communities. Did anybody else see about how he went to or he called into that Black barbershop? Now the guy on there talking about he feels set up. He didn't know it was a political event and all that kind of stuff. He's playing in your face, and we continue to fall for it over and over and over.
Yeah.
And you got what is it? Who? Not Ben Crump. What was the other one? Ben Carson in there, and this other guy. All rah for Trump. Oh, Trump did this. Trump. What did he do? Like, nobody can really tell me what he did. I know we said the stimulus checks, but when you hear Black people talking about, oh, I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. Why? Why would you ever? So I guess my question is, I'm going around the world, but I guess my question is, how do we get to the space where we believe in our own thoughts, we believe in ourselves enough that we could take the reign and press forward? I really wish we could separate, honestly. I really do. Sometimes I often think about that. I wish we could just all us get together and just do our own thing, spend our own money, recycle our own dollars, because quite frankly, without us, this country would be going to hell in a handbasket. Right? Take all our athletes, that one woman on CNN that time talk about LeBron just dribble and shut up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, we're going to dribble all that money right out of this NBA.
Right.
We're going to dribble all these kneelers right out of the NFL. Now what?
Right.
We taking our music, we taking our fashion sense, we taking our economic sense. Quiet as people don't talk about it, but Obama brought that economy down to some of the lowest levels they've ever seen. Trump rose it right back up. Why are we putting him back in?
Deficit, right?
So It's like, to me, it's like I'm not well versed, but I do have common sense. You understand? So if I look at you and I know you're not doing a good job, why would I bring you back?
Lawrence says something. Can you see it, Michelle?
Oh yeah. He said Black people, by and large, will be the people that will save the democracy, specifically Black women. The problem will not be Black people. It will be the 52% of white women that will continue to support Trump.
Right.
He's got a point.
That's true.
Crazy.
Got a point.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we are up on the hour. I just want to let you know that.
Okay, Bart, our special guest.
Yes.
Any last thoughts?
Well, just to try to answer Michelle's question, which is almost impossible. It's hard, but it's systemic. Like it's built into our programming. Like we believe that we're not good enough, a lot of us, and that's why we believe a lot of that politics of voting don't matter, and so you would have to reach down so far to turn that around in other ways. Like one simple way though would be to start to engage in politics, maybe a little bit of politics, a little bit of economics at the dinner table. When you sit down to dinner on Sunday, have a discussion, for an hour or whatever, because everything is politics, gas, groceries, everything, all of that's politics. So start to involve the whole family and start to know what those brilliant, wise elders are thinking, and reconnect with family on that level, and you'll be surprised how fast these people will start to come into somewhat understanding. But like I said, it's systemic, and we have to root out that crab in the barrel syndrome and that not believing that what's going on in this country has anything to do for us or for our self-worth, because we can make it do for us. I mean, we are the culture. Every time you turn on the TV, from every commercial, every show, it's all hip hop, it's all Black music, it's all the cultures. We set the culture, like Michelle said. All our athletes, top, we are the culture, and we can control a lot more than we think we can, but we don't, because we don't understand
our dialogue, our dialect. You got white people on TV now saying it's given.
Yes, I saw that.
Really? I'm like, really? So
Robin said, I'm gonna just say this before we close out, Nikki. She said the next topic of the show should be how serious are people about leaving this country if Trump wins a second term.
That would be a good show.
That would be a good show. And the thing is, I have such mixed feelings about that, because I feel like I want to go if he leave. I mean, if he win, because this is not going to be the same country. On the other hand, I feel the same way I feel like when people say go back to Africa.
Exactly.
This is my country. My ancestors built this shit.
Yep.
I'm not going to
Why should I leave? Right,
you leave. Your ancestors probably weren't even here when my ancestors built it. You get out. So I just like to thank you, Big Brother B. Look, America
for coming.
America sweetheart inside.
Oh boy.
It was great. I had a ball.
So you have to come back and visit us sometime, since we're gonna be talking about politics apparently.
Yeah.
We need an expert panel on the show.
Yes, we got to get my little brother Lawrence too. He's another very
astute,
well versed. Yes,
political mind. My nephew, I don't know if he can come. He might have to get special permissions from his job.
Has to, yes.
So he might not be able to come. But anyhow, we thank you so much, Bar, for taking your time and helping us break some things down. We hope that you'll come back again in the future. We thank you guys out there for listening, all 8 of you.
We appreciate you 8.
Yes, we do. But remember to tell a friend that the ladies are live on Tuesday nights. And we're chopping it up, and that these issues are very germane to us. So come see us again Well, I'm not gonna say next week because sometimes we get distracted between my illness and other things, and life. Look, life is life, and you hear them saying that.
That part.
Uh-huh. So life is life, and it is what it is. When we come on, we come on. I always try and give you a little heads up at least the day before. But Dion, your braids are looking beautiful, girl.
You.
Look, I know you've been on that beach enjoying yourself.
You made it out just in time, though.
I heard. I heard. Thank God Nia did too. I didn't even know she was there.
Went down. Thank God. But anyway, good night, listening audience.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
You guys hang out for 1 second.
Okay.
Let me see if I could get our little going away music. Oh wait. Sorry.